Welcome to the practical side of this course. We've now finished up with the slides, so you should have a really good understanding of how to use search campaigns, when to use them, why to use them, and everything else in between about how to set up and account structure and things like that. So now it is time to put all of that into practice and create our first or create a new paid search campaign. By now we should have a few things or a few boxes ticked. So we should have our conversion tracking set up. If you haven't done that already, I recommend getting that done before setting up any campaigns. We should also have a clear understanding of the objective of our campaign. So when we're talking about search, is it going to be website traffic? Is it going to be sales or leads? And we want to understand why we're picking that objective as well. So make sure you're very clear on that before you start building any campaigns. Next, we want to have done our keyword research using the keyword planner. Took you through a quick demonstration about how to do that. It's worth spending a little bit of time on that just so you can make sure it's done thoroughly enough. After that, we want to then go ahead, download the keyword template that I provided, and we want to use that template to categorize our keywords into keyword themes, which will become our ad groups, if you remember back to the structure. Then once we've done that, we want to have downloaded the ad copy template. You can download that in an Excel spreadsheet if you want to convert it into Google Sheets, whatever you want to do, up to you. But then we want to have definitely written our ad copy, and remember our ad copy needs to be specific to our keyword theme. So that enables the whole journey to stay consistent, and each stage between keyword, ad copy and landing page, all of it to be hyper relevant to one another. Therefore, we're going to have that good ad rank and good ad quality and good quality score, meaning we are going to run an efficient campaign. And last, but no means least, we want to have understood the landing pages that we want each of our keyword themed ad groups to lead to. So again, we want that landing page to be super relevant. If it's going to product pages, then that's great. You can just set that up directly. I'm sure you already have those set up on your website. If it's leads or something a bit more specific or niche, then you want to go ahead and set up a specific landing page for that. And remember, when setting up that landing page, to use some of those keyword themes as well within that landing page, if at all possible. So now we've done all that, we can actually go ahead and start off by creating a campaign. First thing you want to do is come to your Google Ads account, obviously. I happen to be in the campaigns tab here, but I think normally you get taken to the overview tab, and you'll have the same option to add a new campaign, which will be this plus button just here. So if you click that, you've got drafts, load campaign settings. We just want to go keep it straightforward and go add new campaign, which brings us to our objectives. So as I said earlier, we want to have our objectives clearly defined from the get-go. And for this example, I'm going to go ahead and put in a sales objective here, which in turn will bring up use these conversion goals to improve sales. So here is where you want to select your conversion goals. So this is the ultimate, essentially the ultimate goal that you want from it. So if it's a sale of a particular product or a group of products, you want all of those conversion actions within here. Now there's a bunch I've got here under purchases that sit under this campaign or within this Google Ads account. I don't actually want to use that. I want to use a different goal, which I've actually set up some custom goals, which I'm going to use. And this is different because the purchases one uses purchases across multiple, they've got more than one website here. So I don't want to do that because I don't want to confuse it. So I want to just remove the standard goal. And I want to use my custom goal that I've created. Now for you, if you've just got one site and you've got one purchase conversion action, you can probably just go ahead and use the one that it gives you. Just hover over the conversion actions. It will come up with the different conversion actions that it's tracking within that. Just double check that they are the correct ones. If they are, then you're all good and we can go ahead and continue. after you set your conversion goals up, it brings you immediately to a campaign type. And for this chapter, we obviously want to set up a search campaign. So just click search and it comes up with a suggestion or asking you, select the ways you'd like to reach your goal. So this step helps customize your campaign set up to focus on settings and features that can help you get the customer actions that matter most to your business. So essentially, based on your conversions, you need to tell Google how it is going to go about, or give it a little bit more information about that. So if I were going for, this is a leads focused campaign, but I was wanting to get people to call me directly, then I need to go ahead and click the phone calls. So I need to tell Google I want to prioritize phone calls here. That's how I'm going to reach these goals. However, in my case here, this is a conversion action on the website purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and click website. I'm then going to go ahead quickly here and add in the URL. After that, I want to go ahead and name my campaign. So in terms of campaign name, it's entirely up to you what you choose here. I like to keep it quite organized just because I have quite a lot of campaigns running within my Google Ads account and I need to be able to look at them easily and see what's going on and for it to be very clear. So I'm going to shift over to the Excel document very quickly with the keywords in that you can see here. And as you can see on the left-hand side here, I've actually already gone ahead and I've set up and I've created a campaign name. And this is what I'm going to call it. And I'm just going to go back, copy that, go back to my setup, and I'm going to paste that in there and I'm going to hit continue. Next up is your, this is where you set the bidding strategy for the campaign. So I would suggest you go with, if you hit the drop-down menu, you've got a few different options here. The recommended is conversions and conversions value. I would say that for most, you're probably going to want to go ahead and just go in with the conversions or the conversion value. However, if you've got a new account, it's a new Google Ads account, you've got limited purchase data available, or you've had not that many sales through your site so far, and, so this is an and, it's a higher value or higher ticket item where you know it's probably going to take them longer to convert, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe 6 months plus. If you know it's that type of product and maybe it's a service-based product, maybe you want to go ahead and use clicks because you don't have the data available within the Google account to be able to necessarily convert to set a conversion action. And then if you do that, you also have the option to go in and set a manual CPC, but I would recommend using an enhanced CPC to start with if you go down that route, just because it takes some of the pressure and the time, and the time. If you've got quite a lot of keywords in there, it's going to take a long time to go through those and adjust them. It's quite time consuming. However, for most people, I would suggest, even if you don't have a huge amount of conversion data and this is your first campaign that you've set up, still go ahead and use conversions. Lastly, you have the option here to set a target cost per action. So again, if I have a lot of information already, if I'm running some other campaigns and I understand what my cost per conversion is on average, I can go ahead and slot that in here. What I would suggest though is if you're not already running the same campaign type, don't go ahead and do that just yet. Just leave it at conversions and that will automatically put you into a maximize conversions bidding strategy. Then after 1 month, you can then go ahead and set this TCPA based on information and data that you have from the start of this campaign already. So that's the recommendation there. Again, this is so unique to every brand and business. You have to spend a bit of time thinking about it. The thing you need to remember here is whatever you decide on, you need to ensure that you are able to give Google the data that it needs, right? So if you're saying purchases and sales, then you need to ensure that, or you need to be confident that you are able to give that information to Google. If you can't, it's just going to go round and round in circles for ages. So you need to think of another way or a more creative way of approaching that. So once you've settled on that, hit the next, and you'll come down to campaign settings. The first thing I want to do here is I want to go straight away and I want to untick include Google Search Partners, because Google Search Partners Well, let's see what it says here. Google Search Partners are sites in the search network that partner with Google to show ads on their search results. So this is other sites, like I think like AOL and stuff like that. And to be honest, I've never found success running with search partners. So I always switch it off. I mean, but if you want to have it on, have it on. The second thing I'll go and switch off is this display, include Google Display Network. Because again, if I want to run display ads, I will run them in a separate campaign because I can make sure I have more control over it and I'll be more efficient. You're going to hear me throughout this whole course talk about having control of your campaigns. You are going to think I'm a control freak by the end of this, but I'm not. It's just, this is the best thing to do. You want to be able to keep Google under control and be able to manage all of your campaigns. Next, we move into locations. I think locations is pretty straightforward here. Select the countries that you want to pick. For me, it's the USA, but however, if I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to put any other country in here, I can. I can also go ahead and go down to the city level. So I can go and put in cities here, or I can go ahead and go down to the zip code level or the postcode level if you're in the UK or other countries. So you can narrow it down a lot. Just remember, if you do that, take a look at your search volumes because you may end up restricting the campaign massively, meaning you're just not going to be there's not going to be enough search volume for you to show. If, however, you're hitting super broad keywords, then you should be okay. On to languages, pretty self-explanatory. I said it to you in the slides. Try and keep language per campaign if you can. It just keeps things clean and simple, and it's going to help in terms of your ad rank and your ad quality and all of that stuff. Next up, so this is, a lot of people breeze over this. So this is, for me, this is really important here. Audience segments. Most tutorials you'll see people just like, yeah, and move on. Here, let's not do that because this is an opportunity for us to grab some more data here, right? There are two options. There's targeting, and this is where you're going to narrow the reach and you're going to target only that specific audience with those keywords. We don't want to do that at all because we don't want to narrow down this campaign anymore. In my opinion, the keywords that I'm going to run are good enough already and are already niche enough already, so that's fine. There is a place for targeting, by the way, don't get me wrong, things like retargeting campaigns and stuff like that. But for now, we're going to concentrate on the observation only. All this is doing is we are telling Google, I don't want you to use this information for anything. I just want to see the data available about these audiences and how these audiences are performing against these keywords. And to be honest, any audience that is relevant to you, you might as well go ahead and put in there because this is great learnings for you to take forward to other campaigns or even for implementing into other campaigns as well. So you're going to want to go ahead and pick all the relevant ones that you think are appropriate for your campaign and your brand and just tick those. Next, you can come down into more settings. And here is where you can add start and end dates. A lot of people will talk about, oh, it works better with an end date. Some people will say it works worse with an end date. Whatever the stance is, no one actually knows. So whatever you decide to do, it's up to you. One thing I will say, though, is that search campaigns especially, you really want to be looking at these as if they are going to be an always on approach. For me, I tend to not set an end date because when I'm setting up a search campaign, I'm looking to run it at least for 2 months, but ideally I want to be looking to run it forever. I want to get it in a place where it's driving consistent conversions all the time and I never have to switch it off. You can, in fact, go in also and schedule. So this may be useful if you are leads focused and it's phone calls or something and you want to hit it to Mondays or Fridays or within work hours, you can go ahead and do that. That is another option there. In terms of everything else, I wouldn't worry too much about that stuff. I'll just go ahead and click through to the next section. So this is where we need to input or create our first ad group. So you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and switch over back to my keyword list, my Excel template, just here. And you can see here, I've already created my ad groups. So I'm going to go in and create my first ad group here. I'm just going to copy that over. Then I'm going to move back to my Chrome and I'm going to come up here. I'm going to rename this ad group. There we go. Now, get keyword suggestions. This is what I'm telling you earlier. You don't want to be doing it now. We want to have done it already, because now you're midway through your campaign setup. You're going to rush your keyword research, and it's not going to be as good as it should be. Fortunately, you are paying attention, and we've already set up our keywords already back in our Excel document. So come back over here, and I know, so this is the ad group I'm setting up, and I know I've got these keywords that are going to go within that. I'm just going to go ahead and copy those, move back to my campaign, and I'm going to paste them straight in here. Now remember, if you want to use the different match types here, you want to make sure you're going to go ahead and put these particular match types in. For me, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn these into phrase match, but I'm not going to do it now because it's going to be super boring for you guys to watch. So I will come back and do that later on. Don't worry about that. But remember, if you go ahead and just paste these keywords straight in, they're going to automatically go in as broad. So they're going to be super, super broad. If that's what you want, that's okay. That's great. All good. But if you were looking for exact or phrase, now's the time to input those things when you can. And as always, Google is going to show you a load of different suggestions, probably, which are not necessarily relevant. Don't worry about it. We've done our keyword research. Ignore it for now and just crack on. Now we're going to move into, obviously we've got the ad group, we've got the specific keywords, and now we want to add our specific keyword copy, which goes with our ad group. So remember, if we go back to our Excel sheet, we've got our keywords here that we are focusing on. And for this one, it's actually the become keyword is what we're going to use. So we're going to want to go ahead and use those keyword themes within our copy as well, which you should have already done as well and written. So first step is your final URL. Then your display path here. This is going to be your final URL no matter what, but this is what it will show your final URL to be. If you can make it relevant here to the product, so say this is specifically for men's wallets, you might want to have the display URL as men's wallets. And that also is going to help with the relevance and things like that as well. Now we've done that, this is where we input our headlines. So we need to input at least 3. So we should be coming over to back to our Excel document. Within here, I've got the ad copy template that I've downloaded, and I've got some headlines to go here already. Now I haven't, obviously you can see, done them. Sorry, I'm super lazy, but I'm going to come back and do them later. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to paste in some test ones. And then I want to go ahead and I want to add some of my descriptions as well. So I'm just going to put in description. I'm leading a very bad example here. So don't copy me what I'm doing here. You want to have this all ready and all set up. I'm just doing this because of for the demonstration purposes only. As you can see, because everything I put in, it's not happy about the headlines and descriptions I put in. Remember, try to get as many headlines as you can in here. Likewise with the descriptions. And also you're going to want to add your site link. I would suggest go in and get in at least 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 plus site links if you can. If you haven't got them set up, don't worry. You can click through next. You can go and set up your site links separately, or you can create them here. Same again with the call outs and stuff as well. We've been through what they are in the theory side of things. So go ahead and set those up either now, or you might have some already. Then just go ahead and add those in. Then you've obviously got your more asset types. Obviously, again, with all of these, we've been through all of them already. So if they are of interest to you, go ahead and set those up. They're not necessarily interested for me right now. And finally, you can ignore URL options right now because that's probably a little bit more advanced tracking options. So once you've done your copy, added all your site links, added all your call outs and all the different asset types that you can, remember, the more asset types you can get in here, the better. So go ahead and add in as many as you possibly can. And you can always go and add more later. You can remove them later. Do not worry about it. You can also track the performance of your site links and things like that too. So you can see how they're getting on over time. Next, we're going to move into the budget section. So Google's going to come in and give me custom budgets. Again, I just want to go and set my own. So it's going to ask you to put daily budgets in, but it works out daily budgets on a month level. So actually even says that there. So for the month, you won't pay more than your daily budget times the average number of days in a month. Some days you might spend less than your daily budget. Other days you might spend up to twice as much. But just know, if you set a daily budget of $10, you will spend around $300 to $310 over that month. And when you set your budget in here, Google's going to give you some average conversions and clicks and so on and so forth. Take those with a pinch of salt. They are usually horribly wrong. But in order to do this, just work out how much money you want to spend a month and just go ahead and divide it by the number of days in the month. And then that will have your daily budget there. Input that there. For me now, I'm just going to put $1 because we haven't finalized budgets yet. And obviously I don't want to actually run this campaign just yet. But if you are, you've got your budget in, you've got everything else in, you can go and hit next. This is going to bring up the review of everything you've put in so far. You want to go ahead and give that another check over. Check your campaign name, check you've got your goal set up correctly, your bidding strategy is right. So as I said to you, we just put conversions as the bidding in the bidding strategy section. This automatically puts it as a maximize conversions, which is an aggressive approach, but it's something I recommend you do if you're starting a new campaign and you don't have any other conversion data to go with yet. You can also check out your campaign settings. We've gone just the search network. So we want Google search results only, nothing else. In the USA, English, and we've added in a bunch of audiences. We've got our keywords. So notice keywords and ads. And we've got our budget for the day. Now, you're going to go ahead and publish your campaign here. And remember, once you publish this campaign, you'll notice you've only got your one keyword and ad. That's fine. If you've got multiple ad groups, don't worry. Go ahead, hit publish. And that will publish your campaign. You can go in straight away. You can pause it if you don't want to run it just yet, or you may have set a date to start in the future. So all good. But once you publish your campaign, if you've got additional ad groups to add, you can then go into your campaign navigate to the campaign, and then you want to click on it, go into it at the ad group level. So I'll just show you on a different campaign type here. So I'm going to close off here. I'm going to do save for later. Obviously you guys want to publish it, but I'll show you in a different campaign. So I will go to just a random discovery campaign I've got here. But let's say this is your search campaign. You go into it, click in it, and you're at ad group level here. Now I want to go and I want to add an ad group, and I want to go through the same process again, but for search campaigns. So that's going to give me the same options again. Name the ad group, the list of keywords, and put your ad copy in, and so on and so forth. And you're going to go and add that ad group in. And that's how you'll get your multiple ad groups per search campaign. Cool. So that took a little bit longer than I expected, but I wanted to explain each of the steps along the way and why you would pick those certain options or actions. Like I said, it's pretty unique depending on your campaign objective and so on and so forth. So make sure you've got a really clear picture before you go ahead and set these things up. Some tips and tricks here. Some of the things you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be setting things up, getting them running for a week and then going in and changing conversion actions and things like that. It takes a while for the campaign to learn. So you want to start correct. So just bear that in mind when you are running these campaigns. Search is pretty high intent, so it's likely you'll drive conversions through this campaign type. So good luck. Any questions along the way in terms of setup, reach out to me. There's more to come strategy for search campaigns, ad copy, writing for driving conversions and things like that, and also optimizations and some more advanced optimizations and things that you can do. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you've taken a lot away from this. I want to wish you the best of luck with your search campaigns. I'm sure they'll do well, and I'm here to help as well, remember, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Thanks. Bye-bye.